All right, we are back in Studio K with another Heaven. Before we get started, why don't we do a little introduction with a name and an instrument from you?
Sure. I'm Ali. I sing and play guitar.
I'm Christian. I just play guitar.
I'm Cole. I play the bass.
And I'm Aaron. I play drums.
Sweet. All right, and we just heard Genius, Big Misery, and Painkillers. And Genius is your newest single release, correct? Which just came out
Today.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
Yeah, we just announced that we have an EP coming out later this summer, and then we put that out as the first single.
Sweet.
And all these songs are on that record.
Okay,
So,
cool. Yeah, I was going to ask if all of these are newer songs.
Yeah, it's songs we've been playing them for about a year, some of them a little less, but
Okay.
we're just finally putting out the recording that has all these tunes.
Cool. And you had a video accompany this release, correct?
Yeah, directed by Cole Benson,
Sweet.
our bass player. Yeah, we basically just ran around in the woods at night. We had our friend Steve come out with us. Shout out to Steve. And yeah, Cole kind of had this whole concept of basically trying to trip me up by having two cameras and make me run around in the dark, and it worked.
Yeah.
I literally tripped a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was really fun.
Cool. Yeah, it seemed very frenetic. It was like very chaotic, just a lot of running, and like even for me I was like feeling confused by the lights.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I edited it, so I stared at
cool.
it for 6 hours,
Oh,
and afterwards I
man.
felt like I couldn't see, and also like I didn't know what my own face looked like.
Yeah.
That was a very unique feeling.
Yeah.
Where I was like, who am I?
Who is that person on
Yeah.
the screen?
That's allegedly me.
Yeah.
But I'm me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah. Well, and the touch of the cowboy hat too.
Yeah, well, the cowboy hat, I actually bought that for a video we were supposed to make like 4 years ago. And then, lockdown stuff happened, and we didn't get to make the video. And so it's just been sitting in my apartment like forever.
Yeah.
For 4 years, I guess. Feels like forever.
Yeah.
And so I was like, it's finally time. It's
Yeah.
funny because I think Cole had actually a cowboy hat that would have worked better because it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work as like a light reflector because that like blinding
It
white.
was so bright.
Yeah. Color correcting that thing was a nightmare because
Oof,
every
yeah.
shot is just like, white hat. But
Yeah.
I think it was like necessary. As
Yeah.
a director of the video, would you agree?
Yeah, I was going for like country Blair Witch Project was the goal.
That was perfect.
Yeah, and the hat was kind of a last minute decision. I had a pair of boots I wanted to put Ollie in, but
Ooh,
I think they would have tripped him up.
true. More than
the
already
no light.
happened. Yeah.
But it was raining too. It was pouring rain,
Oh,
so
man.
we were kind of it was very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we like that stuff.
Mhm.
So, which is lucky for us because otherwise that would have been a horrible time.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we like that stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you had fun.
Yeah.
Reeds, you've got a little reptile. I can't tell. This is my own personal problem. I can't tell the difference between an alligator and a crocodile. So I didn't know what one it was. But
It's a gator. Yeah,
It's a gator.
I'll step in here.
Okay, cool.
It's a gator. Yeah, the gator. No symbolism there. We
Okay.
just. I've noticed lately. I've seen a lot of gator related content on the internet,
Okay.
and I realized I like them a lot. I think
They're
they're
cool.
great. They can climb fences.
Yeah.
They're just kind of magical little prehistoric
Yeah.
beasts.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, a lot of the imagery, like with merchandising and everything, has been gator focused.
Cool.
The EP was going to be called "See You Later, Alligator," but I couldn't get everyone on board, so we cut the alligator.
I want to say something about that, which is that since we changed it to See You Later, it does kind of sound like we're breaking up, and we're not breaking up. The album is just called See You Later.
Yeah.
But yeah, See You Later Alligator was the original title. Why is it called that?
I just think that's funny and fun.
True.
We're trying to be a little more charming these
Yeah,
days,
yeah.
so adding a little charm, a little zest,
Yeah,
a little
a
zesty,
little
yeah,
zest.
a little zesty alligator.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
was gonna ask if there was any symbolism there, but the answer's no.
No, they're
Just like
you know,
gators.
they're kind of creatures of just they're calm and
Mm-hmm.
they keep their cool, and when it's time to eat, it's time to eat, and
True.
when it's time to sleep, it's time to sleep.
I respect that.
I kind of I vibe with them, but also the attacks are fun to watch, and so
That's true.
as
They
dark
are
as that
vicious.
is, yeah, they are vicious. Yeah, they can be.
Yeah. What I was gonna ask, between that and the dinosaur of one of your previous, I was like, is there any continuity between
With
those, or just like a
lizards.
happenstance?
I didn't even think about that. Well, and I do have to do 2 shout outs. Number one is the title card with the gator is animated by our friend Michelle Brost, who's done all the animation stuff and title cards in our videos and is a legend. And the rain video is done by my friend Kyle, aka Mega Steak Man. And we just like our internet friends, and like I kind of hit him up a while ago where I was like, he does this crazy animation, like 3D animation all in like Unreal Engine, like what they use to make video games. I think that's what he uses. And so I just hit him up, I was like, would you do something for us? And then he just pitched me the concept of like the dinosaur that like doesn't fit in and loses his mind because of a 9-to-5 grind. And I think the whole thing for him was just like, it's just supposed to be a contrast of like this really dark video with this like funny like cartoon character, just like a funny dinosaur. But no, like I never made the connection. I guess like we love prehistoric and prehistoric derived lizards.
Yeah. As you should.
Yeah.
They're cool.
They really do rock.
Yeah.
And also just in general, we do have to like do like stupid and funny stuff because our music is so depressing.
Yeah.
That like if we just lean into it and it, then it just turns into something that I don't think we intend it to be. Because, so it's like, we have to, talk about gators and PT Cruisers and all this like ridiculous stuff because we got to do it.
Yeah, true. Well, and speaking of prehistoric things, I was like checking out your merch too, and you have one design that's like kind of like a culty, like woodland design almost, if I'm not mistaken.
Gator.
Well, there's one, it's kind of like a structure, and then there's some like mushrooms around it.
Oh, yeah,
and, like,
that's
the figure
Yeah,
floating.
Christian actually drew that.
Oh, no way.
That's out?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you have anything to say about that?
I drew it and it took a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool.
Cool.
Thank you. I didn't even
Yeah,
know
of course.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like with our band in terms of the visuals, there's always a lot of influences we're pulling and goals that we have in terms of evoking something. And everyone does design and art in the band. I mean, I think it's all been in the band so far, but it's just all 4 of us doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's usually just more of like a vibe thing, like where it's like, oh, like this should just match up with this record, or so even for this record, like the cover has this really light blue, like pastel blue, and so I changed all of our visual stuff to match that, and it's maybe not what people are expecting once again, given our music, but it's just partly the contrast and partly just like, okay, what do I want this to evoke, with the music. So
Sweet.
But sometimes it is wildly incongruous, and it's just like gator stuff. Yeah.
The Dolly one's good too.
Oh yeah,
That one's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like just like an intrusive thought that I was like, I have to. Dolly Parton holding a sword has to has to be somewhere.
Yeah.
In the mix. Yeah.
Well, and speaking of unexpected, with the single you just played, you also released a cover of Tatu's "All the Things She Said."
Yes.
Which, like, does that just hold a special place in your heart? And you're like, it would be fun if we released a cover? Or what's the story behind that?
Yeah, it was basically that. I think it was Cole's idea. Did you? I mean.
Oh, that song is really cool, and I heard it and I was like, this would sound great if we just did the same thing with guitars. And it's just a cool, fun song. We did Running Up That Hill years ago, and so we like to do a cover if we can. It's nice to have like a moment on an EP or something like this where it's a lot of sad and then something like that to separate things out a little bit.
For sure.
But yeah, I just heard the song, and then we actually we determined it was in the same tuning as all the other songs we were doing. So it really lined up, and it just sort of all came together really quickly. And we're really happy with it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, I remember when it was like Cole's idea, and I was like, this is a good idea. And then we like turned it on, and we're like, oh, the first note's a big C sharp, which is how like all of our songs start. It's like, oh yeah, now we have to do it. But
that's perfect. It just fell into place.
Yeah, for sure. Very
Cool.
happy with how it came out.
Sweet. And the last time you guys were here was 2018.
Crazy.
Yeah, which is a hot a second ago, what else has been new in the Another Heaven world? You've put out 3 albums since
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
which is wild.
Since then we put out then we were promoting an album called 2, then we put out an album called 3, and another album called 4, and Christian joined the band while we were promoting 3. Yeah, we stayed busy, very busy, and yeah, we still have another record. This EP is also kind of a thing that we're using as a stopgap because we have another record that's almost done.
Oh,
that
whoa.
I've been saying it's almost done. They're great, but
Yeah.
I was like, I think this kind of gets at what I'm trying to say, at least with like my lyrics or like what I think the vibe is of this music. But yeah, Pulse is just like such a great movie, and everyone should like check it out if you can. It's great.
Do you have a movie that you would pair with this EP off the top of your head? That's a tough question.
Well, like Crocodile Dundee.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, we love gators, gator stuff, Godzilla maybe.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, admittedly, we kind of wanted this to sound like a wild game, like halftime at a wild game, sort of, was the vibe we were going for musically.
Yeah.
Lyrically, it doesn't land, but yeah, desperately trying to like give it a hockey feel.
Yeah, okay.
Just like a little harder rockin'.
Yeah.
So maybe like Mighty Ducks, or yeah,
Mighty
yeah, a little more joy in the music.
Yeah.
And so yeah,
Yeah.
Mighty
Sweet.
Ducks.
Awesome. That's perfect. And then wrapping it up, I have our like trademark OTR question, which is if you could build a dream bill, it's like you and you're playing with a couple other bands. Who are you picking?
Oh, wow.
It's tough.
I'd go Sepultura.
Okay, nice. I'll say Autolux to balance that out.
Okay.
I'll say Swans.
I mean, Autolux, they can play 2 sets. How about that? 'Cause
Perfect.
Perfect.
We did it.
Awesome. And then yeah, closing it out. Let everyone know what's next for you if you're playing any shows, what day the EP is coming out.
Yeah, so the EP is up for pre-order now, and there's a couple singles, or there's the single and the B-side out. We are playing a show tomorrow at Bauhaus Brew Labs for the Drifter music group Pardon the Noise 5th anniversary. That should be cool. And yeah, the EP in full is going to be out August 16th.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much for coming in.
Yeah, thank you for having us. It's
Of
been
course.
great.
Yeah, it's been such a blast. This has been Off the Record right here on Radio K. Oh, and you guys are Another Heaven.
That's us.
True. All right.
All
yeah.
day.
Radio K. Real college radio.